Hello and welcome to Startline, brought to you by the Manx Motorcycle Club. I'm Beth Espy and this podcast is about everything road racing, both on the Isle of Man and further afield. From the races and the teams to the organisers and officials, it is all here on Startline. Well, thank you so much for downloading this episode of Startline. If you're able to check us out on social media, that would be amazing. I'm really rubbish at doing that whole like and subscribe thing, but supposedly that's what you are supposed to do. If you can, that'd be amazing. If you don't want to, I totally get it. This episode then, we are with Adam Rayner, better known as Stretch, because he's 6'6", and you know what? He's completely candid and determined to make his name in road racing. I think it's fair to say his route into the sport wasn't really conventional. He describes himself as a late starter on bikes and openly admits that his early years were spent riding far too fast on public roads until a timely warning really did persuade him to channel that ability into proper competition. So in this episode, Adam talks to us about finding a natural home at the Southern 100 this year, exceeding his goal with a 101 mile an hour lap, and briefly finding himself in contention for a podium. It so nearly happened. He also speaks honestly about the enormous cost of racing as a privateer, becoming a father for the first time, and why his original dream of simply completing one TT is probably no longer enough. So this is the very honest story of Adam Stretch Rayner, a welder, new dad, and a road racer with his sights firmly set on the mountain course.
I'm Adam Rayner, known as Stretch. I now live in Thorn near Donny, which is like South Yorkshire. And racing-wise, I'm tried to become a dedicated road racer and knock short circuits on the head, and that's me really. Yeah.
So let's talk about the nickname first of all. Then, where did Stretch come from?
Well, obviously I'm 6'6", and I'm a tall lad. And when I was an apprentice and stuff, someone called me Stretch, and I moved to a different place. Didn't know each other. They called me Stretch. Moved to another place. You're contracted, and we'll move around a lot. You know what I mean? They called me Stretch. I thought, I've been called worse things. I thought, I may as well adopt it. So it came from work, being so tall. You get called Lurch as well. Well, Lurch is more the old geezers, like, the old ones that say that from Adam's family back in the day.
Oh, bless you. It's Stretch. Funny, isn't it? I'm sure everyone's got a sort of a nickname or something that they're identified for. But, I mean, obviously you are really tall, which I guess, we'll talk a little bit more about your racing up to now. But from the point of view of actually racing, it must be a little bit of a hindrance sometimes.
It is, yeah, flat out. In the same breath, it's an advantage. Outright speed, it's quite difficult. Southern 100, I got to get proper tucked in. I got to put the bars further down, further forward, pegs further down, further back. I've got like an 80 mil seat foam riser to get my bum in the air to get more aero, and even then my elbows stick out. And I had to get those windscreens, you see. At high speed, you can feel the air resistance dragging you, slowing you down, like when you put your hand out a car window. But in the same breath, I'm going against young little fast lads that are like 4 foot nothing, you know what I mean? And they struggle through the chicanes, and they're really aggressive. You got to muscle the bike around, you got to drag it from left to right, and that they sort of struggle through there, and they're knackered. Well, being so tall, obviously I'm buff by any means, but I've got the leverage to then make up for it in the really aggressive, demanding parts of the course. But then on the straight, they just passed me anyway. So, yeah.
Well, just take us back then, Adam. I was going to say, when you were little, I don't know if you, obviously you weren't born 6'6", were you? But where do you remember your love of bikes coming from?
Honestly, Beth, I'm a proper late bloomer, really late. My uncle's been into bikes, my dad's been into bikes, and he rides on the road to cafes and stuff. And my uncle, in the 90s, used to be a stunt rider, and phenomenal at best. Like, he could do a wheelie, stood up with no hands, no bigger than a dining room table. He's phenomenal. I've seen some YouTube videos knocking about somewhere. Really good. And go to Willywoods Bike Cafe in Lincolnshire. He used to wheelie past coppers, but they wouldn't know he's doing it because it's so calm and collected, and he's incredible. Like, idling, it's just impressive. Right? So my uncle's a massive influence on me. But even then, I didn't get my first motorbike until I was 19. And then I rode it for a bit at that, like 6 months, and then I got a car. And it was actually, I'm trying to incriminate myself here. It's a podcast, so I can be honest. I'm sure people would appreciate my honesty. I got a tax rebate before COVID, and I went and bought, out of nowhere, Gen 3 S1000 little 400cc bike, and then bang, the fastest bike that was out on the market at the time. Very confidence inspiring anyways. I got a thing got elbow down in the first few weeks of owning it on a roundabout, and then started doing that stuff. Again, I'm trying to err on the side of caution here. I rode on the road for a couple of years, and I got pretty good pretty quick. Not because not racing good, like, yeah, but just good and like faster than the average knob on the road, like. But that was before I had a little plastic card telling me I could do that, if you know what I'm saying. Again, I don't want to incriminate myself. I had a little yellow plastic card on the back of my bike, and it said L4G. And who just asked me how much that cost? I said, £10 on eBay. And yeah, I used to be a bit of a wrong un. And then I used to race people for money on the road. Someone would offer me out on social media, I'll race you here, race you there and stuff. And I thought, I'm young, I'm 19, 20, if that. And I thought, I'll do that then. Yeah, I'll do that. I met up with them, raced them from point A to point B, and did that for money. It's a bit like American pink slipping. You know what that is. You know, race for each other's VIN numbers or V5s and that. Right? And that sort of developed into buying a track bike. But I couldn't go on track at the time because I didn't have that card that told me I couldn't. Yeah. And then a garage in Tuxford called Parkett's Performance. It was Neil and Tony at the time. Anyway, they pulled me aside and said, look, you're going to end up looking up at the grass if you carry on. Go the right way, get your ACU, and then we'll help you. Yeah, so I took their advice and then sold my road bike, washed my hands with the dodgy past and took it official. I started racing in 2023, had 2 massive crashes and that. And then I come back. I only raced the short circuits just as a means to an end to go road racing, because that's where it originated, remember, Beth, when lockdown and the roads, and that's all I've ever known. And then we're going road racing now. So when I went to Southern 100, I felt right at home. Yeah, it's quite a brief story. My entire bike experience has been really the past early years of my 20s.
And do you know what, though? Isn't it brilliant that you had somebody who you listened to, who helped you sort of channel that? Because it could have gone in a very different direction. And I don't think your story is unusual in any way. I think, people who seem to be into this sport are so, I don't know, single-minded and sort of...
Yeah, very selfish,
yeah. Well, I mean, and I guess you have to be, don't you? Because it is, it's about following your own path to a certain extent.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, I'm not scared of saying it. It's selfish, because I was that man. I used to go out on the road doing stupid speed, in between cars, wheeling, rolling burnouts, trying to be the man, you know what I mean? And then you grow up and you meet a lovely woman and you have kids and you realise that you're just a bit of a muppet, you know what I mean? And then all you did on the road doesn't count for anything until you take it to official competition. You go, yes, the top lads. So yeah, but there's still loads of lads out there now doing it on TikTok and social media and all that stuff. And yeah, I know what you're saying. I have been that man, and they go around thinking they're all cool and stuff, and you're going to end up looking up at the grass. So then, I don't know what clicked on me, but I think it gives me respect for Neil, because Neil Parkhouse is his name. He's a wealth of knowledge on stuff and bikes and what have you. And he's probably one of the few people I should listen to at the time, you know what I mean? Took heed, and then, yeah, I know what you say. It's hard to get a young lad to listen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and how you channel that natural enthusiasm and natural talent as well when you have it. But yeah, I think if you could find the key to that, there would be a whole wealth of problems that'd be avoided, wouldn't there? But is there something, is it that sort of, there is just something in you? Obviously, when you talked about your uncle, who incidentally sounds like the coolest uncle ever in the whole entire world. I mean, what was your family reaction? What's their reaction been to you going into road racing?
On a personal level, I don't really speak to my parents much at all, to be honest with you. But me sort of surrogate family, my best friend ever, my brother Josh Vickers, his family, Lisa Vickers and Mick Steele, they're like as good as, you know what I mean? But they've been dead supportive. They're all for it. They come to the races, and we're mint. My grandma asks how I am, and she's into it and stuff. She gets all the name right. She keeps thinking the Southern 100 was Southern or 700, the 700, but my accent must have been different. Anyway, they're all dead supportive. And of all people, the one that matters the most to me in my life is my partner, Christine, and our baby, you know what I mean? And of all people, she's helped me out no end. So supportive in that. And she's, I know a lot of women out there would tell most of their better halves to stop doing it because they don't know what it is at first and they see the death toll. there's no other word for it. I'll just come out with that. The death toll. It's a lethal sport to play. You're playing with fire every time you go out. But no, honestly, a lot of the family, my uncle especially, he's Southern 100. Because of that race, we end up fumbling, but we did pretty well at. He was offering to remortgage his house to keep me going. I said, don't do that. Don't do that, whatever you do. Racing's not that important to me. You know what I mean? But sorry, fancy your question, Beth. I've got overwhelming support from left, right, and centre. So luckily, bless me. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? The idea that somebody would even offer to do that. I mean, I don't know if you can ever imagine being that supportive of somebody else's dream. That is just amazing.
I think he's never said it. But I reckon deep down somewhere, I think I'm the son he's never had. You know what I mean? He sees himself in me, and we are like a hive mind. So I think when he sees me going out, it's like the younger version of himself. And I think he wants just to he wants to water that plant and keep it growing. Do you know what I mean? Bless him. But I really appreciate that. I love him to bits.
That you do. And you mentioned your partner as well, and the baby. So how old is the baby?
6 weeks today, actually.
Flipping heck.
Thursday. So she was born on the 4th of June. Exactly 16:17. Yeah, I remember that one. It stuck in my head.
Oh, well, it's a good thing to remember. Bonus points there for remembering that. And, it's obviously really early days still, isn't it? And it's just such a life shift. I think you can't even begin to imagine, can you, until it all sort of happens.
Yeah.
How are you both sort of settling into parenthood?
I'm fine. I'm the dad. You know what I mean? Bless her. Christine, she's been run ragged. She's been up all night, up all day. And I had a week off at work from paternity pay, and it's not even worth looking at. You know what I mean? It's not worth nothing. So I was by her side and flat out, and I still am now when I can. But I've got to earn a living. You know what I mean? So I've gone back to work, I'm afraid. So she's been doing really well, bless, really, really well. And I come home, I do what I can to figure her in. Yeah, I mean, try and fill in the gaps when I'm not home. And she's doing incredible. Our first child and stuff, and she's just talked to like a duck to water. She knows what she's doing. It's incredible to see. It's like instinctual, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, like I say, it's so early at the moment. Can you imagine what you'll be like if your little one comes up to you and says, "Oh, this is what I want to do for a living"?
Thought about that. I'm in two minds. I want to give her anything she wants. You know what I mean? But I said to Christine, I love racing with all my heart. I love it. It makes you never feel more alive as you're close to death, and it makes me feel alive. But I do fantasize about the day I finish racing because I'll have so much money. Do you know what I mean? I can go on a holiday. I can treat her like to anything she wants. I can get the new car. I can buy this, can buy that, buy another house. How disgustingly expensive racing is. I look forward to that day. It'll be a sad day for me hanging the suit up, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I can roll it in cash. You know what I mean? And then she turns around and says that I want to go racing. I'm like, fuck, here we go again. Another 20 years of racing. Here we go. Do you know what I mean? So,
what do you think you would have to have achieved in order to be at that point where you think, do you know what, I'm happy to hang the leathers to one side and move on to another chapter?
That's a hard one, you see. Initially, I went road racing just to do a TT. You know what I mean? Just to do one. Because I thought I was I thought initially the road racing TTC and Dunlop, McGuinness, Hickman, all that, I thought all of them are born into it, you see. It's like I know they're not, no silver spoon or anything. They have come up their own way, fair play to them. But I started young, you know what I mean? I started young. And then it's just, for me to compete with them, I thought when I started racing that if I just do a TT, just get an entry, go as fast as I can around it, and then come home, I'll hang on my suit and say, I've done that. And now I said I've gone into this competition, the natural, this competitive side of me, it wants more, you know what I mean? It's a bug. They all say it's a bug, and once you've fed it once, it's always hungry. And now I went from thinking, I'll just do a TT. Now I'm thinking I want to win one. And then if you win one, which is also a massive goal, it's not easily done, you know what I mean? I think, well, I can win one, I can win five. Win five, you win 10, and then they're all in their 50s winning them, you know what I mean? You get the few young ones. So I'm thinking, if they're doing it, they're only human. They're pissed from the same place I do, you know what I mean? I ain't going to make out that no, yeah, you know what I mean? They make out that there's some TT legend is a hero, he's an animal, is that. They're just blokes, you know what I mean? They can't weld like I can. and I can't do what they can in their trades outside of work. So they're just the same as me and you, Beth. You know what I mean? So I think since that has come out of me, I'm thinking, if I get some money behind me, I might have a shot. So I think we'll take it as it comes. I'll do one and see where I end up, and then when I've had enough, I'll have enough. So yeah, I ain't got an answer for that, I'm afraid. Long way of saying I ain't got an answer, innit? So
No, I totally get it. I love the fact you said, I could be put in the same camp as those people, considering I barely ride a pedal bike. But anyway, I suppose the weird thing must be when you have been involved in this sport and then suddenly you're in the same paddock as the likes of Hickman and Dunlop and whatever. Yeah. That must be a real sort of pinch me moment.
Yeah. I said to lads at work, I think I put a post on Facebook the other day, actually. I think the lads at work, like, they're all into the footy, you know what I mean? They're like the typical bloke, you know what I mean? They're just a lovely blokes. Racing, especially on the road, is a very unique thing, and no one else I've met in work does it. I met some lads that go on track in that, but yeah, anyway, trying to explain to them that I was racing with the likes of Harrison, Dunlop, Hickman and all that stuff at sub 100. They don't comprehend it. But to us lot, it's like lads at work going to play Sunday League football with Ronaldo himself. That's what it's like, isn't it? But they don't comprehend that, and it's quite mind blowing. It's like you're rubbing shoulders with the top of them. I'm racing against blokes that ride for Honda. You know, and I'm just some muppet having a go. So yeah, it's quite surreal, Beth. It is quite surreal when you put it that way. When while I was in school watching that Closer to the Edge TT film where Guy Martin's like famously starred in that, all that, watching all them in there, and then meeting him in the flesh and having most of the numbers and chatting to him about getting parts and bits and bobs and getting dynos done. It's mad. It's like me texting Ronaldo, I fancy a play, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah.
On the subject of football, we should just say we are speaking the day after that match between England and Argentina. Were you watching? Do we just gloss over it?
I tell you what, Beth, I said last night to our lass, I says, they're going to win 2-1. I says, if I put $1,000 on that, I'd won about, what, 9.5, 10 grand. I should have bet on that against my own people. But I think, wounded. 85th minute and like 97th minute or something. Oh, don't be starting on it.
Yeah, we'll just forget it. So obviously, we're talking about sort of road racing, and you mentioned your first Southern 100. I mean, obviously, you sort of go in there with a certain amount of expectation of yourself, I guess, and I wonder how that all lived up to it. And would you now, looking back, knowing what you know, would you do anything differently?
Honestly, no. So we had the interviews and that, and I listened to it back. I put it on Facebook, didn't I? And check if I swore or not, but I did say to you, I went there, I want to get 100 mile an hour lap, first or last, I'm not bothered, and just take part in something incredible. We took part in something incredible, and we got 101.24 mile an hour lap first time there, with a slipping clutch, by the way. And I think I did, shit qualifying, because clutch was slipping, and I think it was Tuesday, wasn't it, we said. And then that put us like back to 10th on the grid. I was like, fuck. But I finished the race, so I come 5th. I thought, well, that's not too bad. You know what I mean? And then the next race on the Thursday, I think I was a hole shot about 7th at first corner, and I was sitting in 4th for a bit, then 3rd, and I was going to make a 2nd place. So I thought, I want to get a podium here. I thought, bloody hell. And then I got a bit giddy, and then I didn't expect someone to brake where they braked, and I wasn't ready for it. I just couldn't get the bike stopped, and I went down. But the bike's fine, I'm fine. It was a little tumble, you know what I mean? So I DNF'd on the Thursday. But, like, I had me missus and mates and all at home watching, screaming their head off, throwing the phones at the TV. Like, no, that. But I'm not bothered. I love that. That week was I put it on Facebook, that week was the best race weekend I have ever had. Hands down. It smashed every single out of the park, because, like I said, I just love the place. That was just like going to Willie Ward's Bike Cafe. If you don't know where that is, it's a Lincolnshire, like a little your local bike meet, anyway. And the idea was, where I used to live, Retford, you'd go from Retford to Willie Woods as fast as you can. And the record is 17 minutes. And that's about 38 miles away, by the way. Anyway, it's just like going to Willie Woods. And I just clicked and I gelled and I loved it. And it's just everything about it. I loved it. I want to come back there every year now. Every year. Yeah, loved it. Despite coming off, despite slipping clutch, that was nothing. I loved it, Beth.
And I suppose even, though that happened, you kind of learn something from that, don't you? That you take forward into the next things you do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's like wheel bearings on a car. You don't know they're going until they've gone. You know what I mean? So if you sit in a brand new car with new wheel bearings, and then you sit in a car with shot wheel bearings, you think, oh, this is shit. You know what I mean? I can feel like a total difference. But if you're in your own car and they slowly deteriorate, you don't realise. And I didn't realise my clutch was about to go, like, right before I went there. It felt okay. It launched, it downshifted, and it's pretty good. But I didn't know it was going. So I think, to answer your question, what I learned next time is just change stuff. Like, even if it's good, check it again. Like, the bike was mechanically sound, and the gearbox was sweet, and shit, it was all working. Never missed a beat. But there's some things you just have to check. And I know next time I'll go there with a brand new clutch, and I'll go there with X, Y, Z, and anything. Just check twice and one more time. Then going for it. Yeah.
Sort of like, you talked about putting some posts up on social media, and, we'll talk a little bit probably about the people you've got supporting you, but there's also a sense of responsibility to them as well to sort of get the names out to. Do you find that an easy thing to do? Obviously, God, you've got it all going on with a newborn baby as well.
Ironically, that's how I got. I think there's embers of clout left where I'm from. I used to go on TikTok, you see. I used to put a load of videos of the riding on the road on there, which I had to say was just AI, because it was just ridiculous. I think those watching this that know me will know what I'm on about. But I started out like that, and there's still every now and then I get a bloke saying, "Oh, you stretch," and I'm from TikTok. I think TikTok years ago that I had to delete all the videos because of I think the powers that be was gunning for me. So I had to, sweep my trail clean. But ironically, I did start on social media. It did really well. But as of late, you get older, and my career's developed now, and it's a very demanding career on stations and stuff. And then my missus as well, the baby. It's just, I can't find the time to do it. And my replies on social media are, terrible. They're known for being bad. I might get a message one day, I'll not reply for a week. And then sometimes even a month, and then people start to say, "Oh, bloody hell, you replied," and so that's just replying to people. So then posting on social media and that, and even then, it's all right. You need the photos to post. So if you're going off, say, the photographer at the time takes a photo that's not as good as you'd want, or not the right angle, or caught you at the wrong time, you can only go off them unless I've seen some people hire their own photographers to go out for them and do videos and stuff. And I ain't got that. I'm not that bothered. I'd rather just go out and let the proof of the pudding in the eating, you know what I mean? And just go out and do it myself, and do it that way. So, I'm an old soul, I guess, you know what I mean?
So just thinking then about the people that you have got supporting you, this sort of conversation started way back when, didn't it? When you had that chat with somebody who said, if you sort of go down the right path and they'll support you. Have you still got that sort of support there who've got on board at the moment?
Yeah, to a degree. It's like, so it's like the support they offered me was, baseline sponsorship. We'll give you parts at cost and free labour. And that helps to a degree. And I'm still there. I still chat to Tony now and then, I still chat to Neil now and then. And I don't know, you need to change, you know what I mean? It's, at the time, park it was dyno and suspension, so dynamometer work. So I'll go for Tony. I still go Tony for that, to be fair. Tony's quite good at it. And suspension work, you know what I mean? Get suspension done. But after that, you need to put tyres on the bike. And then it gets to a point from, when you're new to race, brilliant, you know what I mean? Any help's brilliant. But it gets to a point where you need outright funding. Then you know what I mean? Then it's all right looking at 10 mechanics, but if you haven't got a bike to put in front of them, do you know what I mean?
So you mentioned work and whatever, and obviously it sounds like that's full on. What is it you do?
A welder. I work on a welder on power stations, so I do pipe welding, oil and gas, and boiler tubes and things like that. So sweaty work in this weather.
Oh God, I bet it is. And in terms of being then hands-on, building your own bikes and whatever, is that something that you're quite keen on, sort of being responsible for that?
I like to build my own bikes. I ain't built from scratch or anything. I'm not like a wizard with engines or anything, you know what I mean? But I like to, every season I like to strip it down to every nut and bolt and then buy new nuts and bolts, because I understand, torques, tensions, and tensile strengths of bolts. And if I built it, I know it's right, you know what I mean? But John, my mechanic, funny enough, another nickname, Sniper's Nightmare, he's missing a leg, so he waddles like that. So if I didn't aim a sniper at him, you can't hit him, can you? So it's a Sniper's Nightmare. So yeah, I think them two are the only people on earth that I can trust with my bike, and I can go out and give it everything. So but yeah, I like to be hands on. Yeah, so I get a lot of time to myself. I like to make it right and make it. Actually, being so tall as well, no one can just build a bike for me and there you go. It's like standard. I have to do so much to it to make it adapt and work for me because I'm so bloody tall. Yeah, I like to build my own bikes. But once I've built the bike myself, I then show my uncle and Mike and that, and they go, right, that's how they like it. Okay, now they know what to do to build it for me. You know what I mean?
So as we're speaking then, obviously Southern 100, say just over a week ago, what is next? Have you got more races coming up in the near future?
Oh, I hope so. To be honest, I'm absolutely skint. We did have a sponsor lined up for this year. Who's meant to really look after us, sort everything out, and the plan was to live on two wheels. You know what I mean? Go out training, because I've always suffered with time on the bike. In the past, I've always only ever time I rode a bike was when I raced it, and that's not good enough. If you want to do well, you want to do training and stuff. Anyway, sponsor let me down this year, so I've had no funding with a baby involved, and yeah, can you imagine? So I just managed to get to the Southern 100 financially. So then I've had to cancel out on this weekend's Cock of the North. Cock of the North? Yeah, Cock of the North. So I think the next one looking like Gold Cup, and that's just the two for the entire year. So I think it's just getting funding, you know what I mean? And that sponsor's still in the pipeline, but whether it happens or not, I don't know, you know what I mean? And I guess we can take it as it comes. So I'd love to do more, but honestly, Beth, even if we did every round now, the season's over anyway. So I can't salvage it. So I haven't done much this year, but what I have done, I've really enjoyed. So I think, yeah, just maybe get some more money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's difficult conversations to have though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's so much that rides on it. Ha ha ha, excuse the pun. But yeah, and I think it's the side that people who watch racing just do not see, and I think until I started having these sort of conversations, and never even gave a thought to the fact that actually you are living and breathing this and sacrificing, the luxuries that other people have, like holidays and like day cars and whatever. And I mean, sometimes it must be a question of, what am I doing?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes. Like on paper, like I'm asset rich. You know what I mean? I'm not rich. Well, it depends what you define as rich, but I've got a 10, 15 grand van looking back at me. I've got a 10, 15 grand bike. Three of them. I've got a 18 grand road bike, brand new, done a few thousand miles. Another 1,000 I've just bought, and then 600. And on paper, I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's to fund it. It's the tyres and it's the engine fees, the time off work as well. You know what I mean? I get holiday pay, but it don't scratch the surface. It's not anything worth looking at. So we have time off work, and the money I'm earning when I'm at work, I'm missing out on earning that money whilst I'm racing. So I'm spending it and not earning it. And I think when I met you, Beth, honestly, when I met you at Southern 100, I think I had about a 10 to my name. So I'm being honest. I don't care. I don't give two shits what anyone thinks. That's what racing is. So who's watching this now? That's what every racer will look like. If you come to any racer, they might look flashes out with a nice new suit, nice brand new bike, nice van. Well, I bet they got a fat credit card debt. So yeah, that's what it is. Truth.
And then just thinking about your next step on the journey, is a sort of MGP thinking next year? Does everything have to sort of fit into place for that?
Yes, I see Southern 100. That's a given. I'm going to go to that every year now. I love it there. That's incredible. I do that. That's guaranteed. That's an afterthought now. I don't have to worry about that. I'm doing that anyway. But entries open, I think it's September, October for the Manx. So I'll try and, with my newfound Southern 100 background and the lap I've done there and what have you, and I think I want to put my entry in this year for the Manx, see what the crack is with that. And then I think as and when, the big one's the Manx into it. So I'll put that in for the Manx. And then Southern 100, and the rest of them, they come they sort of appear throughout the next year, don't they? Like April time, January time, January, February, March, April, and they come out every so often. So I think next year I'm going to do them, but I'm going to put my Manchester into 100%, get that one in. But whilst we're on the topic as well, I mean, here's one thing that hopefully the sub 100 people will see this, and the Manx people will see this, and other race organisers will see this. The topic that's been at the tip of everyone's tongue at the Southern, Gold Cup or Cockney North and various road races and stuff, a lot of us are privateers, you see. We do it out of our own pocket. We're not factory teams, we're not Dean Harrison, we're not, Dunlop and all them top boys. We're not them. We've got babies and families and stuff. We pay for it ourselves. And I've heard through the grapevine, and a little birdie tells me that a lot of organisers are moving to next gen super sport, if you've heard of that by any chance. Yeah. That, if you don't know what it is, but for those who don't know what it is, they're making, I think, compulsory all super sport machines, so 600s, run mechatronics or the control ECU. And if those who don't know further what that is, say you've got a half decent 600 at 10,000 quid. That'll get you a half decent 600, 10 grand, 10 bags. You then got to spend another 10 bags on electrics. So you've got a £20,000 R6 or a ZX6 or 750 or whatever you're there. But I can't justify that. And with what I just said then about putting Manx entry in and sub 100 next year, if they go to next gen compulsory classes, that's going to put everything we've been talking about dead in the water. I'll have to hang my suit up from that alone. Not go to TT and do well and have a nice, fruitful career, so to speak, and enjoy it and walk back and walk into the distance with my family and go, I enjoyed that. It's going to come to an abrupt end. It's going to kill a lot of folk off. It's going to kill it dead in the water. And all those privateers that are racing it out of their own pocket are just going to be left in the lurch. I mean, all the factory teams, they've got all the money in the world. They got bottomless credit cards. But right now, actually, before you even started this chat, I've been stressing about that today, and that's been sort of plaguing my mind for next year. And it's not even started next year, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I just wanted to get that one out there. And I think we're all, and not just me, we're all stressed about that in the privateer sector of racing. So I hope they don't do that. Or if they do that, they at least keep a stock class. Those people that are privateers can still afford to come and attend and take part. So
I guess like with many racing seasons, it is sort of watch this space, isn't it? Adam, if anyone's listening and they'd like to follow you on social media, obviously they won't find any of those videos anymore, but where can they find you? I'm
just on Facebook mainly, and Instagrams. I like Instagram. Yeah, I use it quite a bit and all. That's what is it now? I don't even know my name on Instagram now. Stretch _97RR. That's it, yeah. It's Stretch _97RR, and that's my Instagram. Yeah, that's all I use most, really.
Perfect. We'll put those links on the podcast page. It's been brilliant talking to you. I hope the next few weeks of newborn life are very, very gentle with you both and that you get some sleep.
Now. Thank you, Beth. Honestly, I know I ramble on. I can chat a glass of water to sleep me. I can chat all day long, you know what I mean? I apologise I dragged on a bit.
Not at all. Be no podcast without chat. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. It was, and we look forward to seeing you back over here. You're going to be watching the final on Sunday anyway?
I think so, yeah. Argentina lose, hopefully, So, yeah, have that.
Adam, brilliant to talk to you. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you, Beth. Bless you. Thank you. See you soon.
Adam Stretch Rayner, what a brilliant conversation with him, really outlining the realities of what it's like to be a privateer in this sport, alongside having those family commitments as well. His little girl's still so incredibly young, but it does sound like he's getting more sleep, doesn't it? We won't mention the football again because it's long ago enough now that we can just forget it and look forward to the Euros, eh? If you would like to follow Adam on social media, his links are on the podcast page, and we'll keep an eye on how he's doing and that application for hopefully racing at the MGP in 2027. Thank you very much indeed for listening to this episode of Startline. Do take some time to find the riders on social media. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you'd like to get in touch with me and be part of the podcast in the future, you can email beth@startline.im. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.